Hey everyone, thanks for returning. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dungeon. This is more of a family-oriented game by Wizards of the Coast. It's for 1 to 8 players. The time, it just depends on how many players you got. A 2-player game is probably going to go a lot faster than an 8-player game. But let's open it up and take a look inside. So I have the game all set up, and as you can see here, I have a fighter and a rogue set up. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see them better. Okay, and so I have Drist and another, or Drizzt, however you pronounce it, and then another rogue. And I wish they would have actually provided some plastic miniatures. Because these do fall over easy, and sometimes these bases will fall off. So a plastic miniature was just added to more of the feel. And you start in the Great Hall Chamber, level 1. Then there's a stairway that you would take if you're exiting the dungeon once you get your set treasure limit. Okay. There are 2 different types of each class. There's the fighter class. So there's 2 of those, 2 rogues, 2 clerics, and then 2 wizards. Wizards will get the lightning spell, fireball spell, or the teleport spell to use. The teleport lets you teleport from one chamber to another in either your level of dungeon or one higher or one lower. And what I mean is this whole map is set up by different levels in the dungeon. So here is level 2. This is a chamber in level 2. This is a chamber in level 2. Level 4 chamber, level 5 chamber, level 1 chamber. But that's their starting chamber. And then these are the rooms. So if you see a room like this where there's no orange, no yellow, no pink or purple or green or blue, that's just a free area. That's not actually a room. It actually has to have these colors to be considered a room. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it here in a little bit. Okay, and so the rules are actually easy to follow. The game, I do believe, has 4 phases. So the first phase would be for the heroes to move. So I'm going to zoom in more so you can kind of see. Just a hair. So my fighter, let's say I'm going to have him go first. Each one of these little squares here is a space. And now you don't roll for movement. They automatically get 5 movement spaces. So they can go 1, 2, 3, and any chamber is considered 1 space. And so if I want to go into this room, that's 4. But when I go into that room, I have to take a monster card, which I'll zoom back out. And so each level has a set monster treasure for defeating the monster. So here's level 1, monsters, treasure for level 1, 2 monster, 2 treasure, 3 monster, 3 treasure, 4 monster, 4 treasure, 5, 6 monsters and treasures. And if you notice on this side of the board over here, there's numbers on this track. You might be wondering what that's for. I'll kind of go back over here a little bit. Zoom out. So what I'm going to do is when I go in this room, the rules say I'm supposed to take one of these numbers. So there's 1 through 12 little tokens here, and I have them all mixed up here, but you also have time tokens, and then +1 or +2 tokens if you find a magic sword, or other +1 or +2 items. So let's separate these a little bit more. There we go. And so I'm supposed to take this one and put it in the room, but however, I just think it's needless at this point. And so what I'll do is I'll flip over this card, okay, and then I have a goblin. And on the card, it tells you the fighter type. So there's rogue, cleric, fighter, mage, and then the different spells that they're going to use. So for a fireball, he needs a 2. For a lightning bolt, he needs a 6. For the wizard, he needs a 5. And then for a fighter, I need a 2. So I rolled these 2 dice together, and then I would kill it because I had a 6. I just needed a 2. So what happens then is you take these little gravestone tokens here and you put it in the room. But let's say it was a different monster. Okay, if it was a different monster and I did not defeat him, then I would go ahead and put this number 1 in this room, and then I would move the goblin to the number 1 track, way over here, to let everyone know that that's where the goblin is. Okay. And then when I'm defeated, or when I don't defeat a monster, I have to roll 2 dice. And then there's a little chart over here. It says monsters fight back. Monsters only fight back if you don't defeat them on your roll. So I would have got a 10. An 8 through 10 says hurt. Drop 1 random treasure card and retreat 1 space, losing 1 turn. So I would lose a turn. But if I would have got a 12, it says crushed. Drop all treasure cards, select a new hero or the same hero if no other hero is available, and place it back on the Great Hall. So it'd start over again. On a 5 or lower, no effect. 6 through 7 says stunned. Drop 1 random treasure. On 11 it says seriously hurt. Drop a half your treasure cards randomly, round up, and place your hero back to the Great Hall. Okay. And so I didn't die. It died instead. So I would just take this and make a discard pile, and then I would get a treasure. So boom, right there it is, magic sword. So what this says is I'm supposed to take 2 dice, roll them. Okay, and then it says on a 2 through 11, a +1, or a 12 or higher, or a 12, I get a +2. Well, I got 11, so I get just +1. There are other magic swords in here that are better stats. So if you roll like 2 through 9, it's a +1, but a 10 through 12 would be a +2. And so I would put this in my player area, and this would be a gravestone. Okay? And so then no more monsters are going to pop in that room. So then it's the other person's turn. And let's say they go this way. I'll zoom back in a little bit. So let's go 1, 2, 3, and then they decide to go in here 4. Okay, and so this is still a level 1, so they're going to draw a level 1 monster. Okay, and they get a skeleton. The skeleton says that they have to roll a 5 or higher. And so, ooh, he did not defeat it, so I'm going to go ahead and put that 1 there. And the skeleton is going to go in the track over here, and I'll roll these, and so he got a 3, which there's no effect. Then it goes back to this player's turn. And let's say he makes his way down here and goes into a level 2 room, which he wouldn't in 1 turn because there's more than 5 spaces, but then that's when he would flip over a level 2 monster. And so this is when the monsters start getting a little harder. And so for him, he needs to roll a 4. And he did. And he would get a level 2 treasure, which these treasures start to get a little bit better, so 1,000. So what's the point of this game? Well, the point is that you have to reach your maximum gold count and then escape the dungeon to be the first person that wins. And so for a rogue, they have to get 10,000 gold pieces, and the safest levels for them are 1 to 3. For a cleric, they have to get 10,000 as well, but the safest areas for them are 2 to 4. For a fighter, they have to get 20,000, and the safest areas are 3 through 5. And then for a wizard, they have to get 30,000, and the safest areas are 4 through 6. So the wizards are actually the strongest player. They are able to go in and do the most damage to higher level monsters. And then there are secret doors. And so I'll try to zoom in on one so you can see it. So a secret door is that little dash right there in the wall. So the secret doors allow you to get through the dungeon a little faster or go to a higher level area faster. And every hero has to test. And so the way they test is that they roll the 2 dice. They roll 1 die. Okay. And so for a cleric, a fighter, and a wizard, they have to roll a 5 or a 6 to be able to pass. And so they would end their turn here, and if they have 1 movement space left, that's when they would roll the die. On a 2, he would not pass, but if I rolled a 3, still no pass, so I'd have to get a 5 or 6. But if it was the rogue that was here instead, he has to roll a 3 through 6. So he got a 3, then he would be able to pass and finish his movement points. Okay, and then kind of backing up again, and let's take a look at a chamber. So when a hero goes into the chamber, he encounters 1 monster. Okay, and then he defeats that monster, or if he doesn't defeat the monster, then on his next turn, if the monster's still in the room, he can leave. It's only when you end your turn on a space that doesn't have a defeated monster where you either have to encounter a monster or fight the monster that is there. In chambers, you get up to 3 monsters that you have to defeat. And you don't get any treasure for the chambers. You only get treasures for the room. And a room, again, only has 1 monster. And so it just makes it a little bit difficult when going through the dungeon. And so that's pretty much it. You have to go through the dungeon as fast as you can, collecting as much treasure as you can, and get out. Be the first person to get out with the level of treasure that you need, and you are the victor. So let's take it back up top and give our final thoughts. Alright, so my final thoughts about this game. I was asked by my daughter to do a review for this because I think her mom's boyfriend's kids have the game and they don't know how to play. And so I was going to use this video to kind of explain how the game is played. But my final thoughts are that I like the game. I like the aspects. The cards quality's okay. The little cardboard people I wish were miniatures, as you can see on the back here. The dice, I wish they would have just used 20-sided dice. I would have had more of the D&D feel instead of the 2 6-sided dice. But the theme of the game is there. It's great. Just every different hero type has their reward level set so that once they get that much treasure, they have to escape from the dungeon. It just adds a level of stress that I use this game working with some of my clients to teach patience, push your luck, some social skills. You don't have to wait for your turn or ask for the dice. But I like this game. I think it's best for young families. For adults, you're not going to get the RPG feel. You're not going to get that dungeon delve feel from this game. But if you have kids and you're looking for them to get into the fantasy genre, definitely you should invest in this game. I think it's worth the money. I'm going to provide a link below if you're interested in this game for you to get it on Amazon. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing, go ahead and like and share. And once we get to 200 subscribers, we're going to have a $25 gift certificate given away to one of those lucky subscribers for Miniature Market. So, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.